Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's first video. So a big day coming up at Gazwell this day, or a big afternoon. Later on we're going to have a month-end forecast from our friend Terry Scully, but tonight we've got at 7 o'clock the winter forecast being released. So all of winter updates have been building up to winter forecast. It reaches its conclusion tonight when we release the winter 2016-2017 forecast. That will be, the video that will be on the homepage around 7 o'clock, and then it'll be placed on the winter updates page with a written summary around 8 o'clock, 8:30 this evening. So exciting times at website tonight. This video is just a quick look at the weather next week to 10 days, just to bring you up to date with what's going on with models this morning, and also have a quick recap on November, because we've got the central temperature in for November, and it's been quite a cold month, so I'll talk you through that in a second. Before I get on with that, just say about the ads. There's links to articles on all pages. Have a browse widgets and click through links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, you're going to be having us page website. Thanks very much for doing that. Also, the Christmas shop remains open, so if you've got any Christmas shop to do at Amazon between now and Christmas, just click through the Amazon banners in the Christmas shop and go do Christmas shopping at Amazon. Because you've gone from Gazwell this to Amazon, we get a review fee on the things that you are buying. Big thank you to everybody for doing that. So, Central England temperature from Hadley for November 2016 is in, and it comes out at 5.6. There it is, just there, which is a colder than average month. This is our first significantly cold average month of the season, although April did come in a little bit cooler than average, but this is a bigger deviation than we saw in April, and it's the coldest November since 2010. This one just here, 5.2. The last time we had a November under 5 degrees, so a very cold November, was a really long time ago, actually, back in 1993, which came out at 4.6. So we haven't had many cold Novembers over the past sort of 20 years. Or 20 years or more, actually. There's only two there, with this one in 2010, come out under 6 degrees. And as I said, got to go back to 1993 for a November that comes out under 5 degrees. So November is one of the months that has really warmed up a lot over the past sort of 20, 30 years. But there we go, I've had a colder than average November, and I think the Gazwell of its November forecast has gone quite well, actually, and the autumn forecast. I'll be doing the December month-end forecast on Saturday morning, and we'll have a recap on November then. I think the November forecast turned out okay. In about a week's time, we'll be able to do the valuation of the autumn forecast as well, when we get all the stats in at the UK Met Office. I think the autumn forecast has gone reasonably well also, but won't count me chickens just yet. We'll wait and see what the official numbers have to say on that. So just have a quick look at the weather next week to 10 days. Then we'll have a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts first. We've got the ECMWF here on the top. The GFS is on the bottom. 500 millibars, 80,000 feet is an area in the atmosphere. High pressure, low pressure being moved around by the jet stream running above. Red extrapolates to high pressure, and blue extrapolates to low pressure. So what we see for the coming week, this takes up to around the 10th, 11th of December. So what we see is that we've got this big ridge of above average heights through the UK, also extending northwards up towards the poles. So actually that's a very blocked scenario. It's just not quite on the right side of the blocking to be delivering cold. The cold with that is going into eastern and northeastern parts of Europe via this trough, excuse me, just here. So, the trough and the cold areas in the northeast of Europe, we're under the ridge. Wouldn't take that much of an adjustment. You have to move it to the west and the northwest a bit, this ridge, to then pull the trough back into western parts of Europe with the cold air. Anyway, that looks pretty settled, to be honest, with a lot of dry weather, especially down to the south and the east. The GFS is very similar, so again, there's that cold trough in the northeast of Europe and through into western Russia. That'll bring a real blast of winter through to them. For us, we're close to this ridge out in the west of Europe and also going to the north as well. So a lot of dry, a lot of settled weather with that. I think the jet stream will be bringing cloud and rain at times into the north and the west. but it's just a much milder scenario on the milder side of the ridge there. And I think we are looking at a fairly dry and mild pattern as we're going into the second week of December. These are the GFS temperature precipitation ensembles of rare temperatures, of course. So that red line there is the 30-year temperature average. So we're going to be going a little bit cooler than average over the weekend, but next week we're going to see the temperatures picking up. So we start next week quite cool, will turn milder. You might see temperatures up into double figures through the second half of next week, and then that takes us to the middle part of the month, which on the graph is just there, and we see the temperatures cooling off. Nothing desperately cold coming through. There are a few colder members, but actually we've lost the very cold outliers that we had with these ensembles yesterday. So I still think we're looking at the idea that up to the middle part of the month it turns milder, turns a little bit more unsettled. With the rainfall, it's lots of dry weather for the weekend and start of next week. Then we get some precipitation coming back, but it doesn't look desperately wet, that. I think a lot of the rain is going to be up to the north and the west. Down in the southeast, we will continue to be close to the ridge, have quite a lot of dry weather. So the idea is up to the middle part of the month, it turns milder, and then the second half of December, we've got to watch out for whether we get this cold weather going. That could be a key point in the winter, actually. Will we turn it colder in the second half of December, or will we keep it mild? Might be quite a pivotal moment in the fate of the winter 2016-2017. But the winter forecast, I'm going to be with you, I think, or definitely will be with you at 7 o'clock this evening. Temperature anomalies for the next week, going from the 10th through to 9th, going from the 1st through to 9th of December. So I'm trying to rush you this because I've got a lot to cram in at website today. So temperature anomalies coming out a little bit colder than average for the next week, and precipitation also coming out a bit colder than average as well. The generic chart shows high pressure dominating for the start of next week, and the air's coming off the continent, so it's going to be fairly cold. That continues into Tuesday as well. Wednesday turns milder with winds turning into the Atlantic, and then through Thursday and Friday, lot of dry weather in the southeast, some cloud and rain in the north and west. The main thing is the milder push of air coming up out of the Atlantic. And then we go up to day 10, which is Sunday the 11th of December, and it's looking a little bit more unsettled generally across the country then, but still relatively mild up to that point. The ECWF, that shows cold winds coming out of the southeast at the start of next week. A lot of dry weather as well. Middle part of next week starts to turn milder as the air begins to get pulled up out of the Atlantic, and then we go through to the end of the week and into the weekend. Have a lot of dry weather on Saturday the 10th and Sunday the 11th of December in the south. The north looks a little bit more unsettled. Have this ridge out to the west that might start to pull colder air down from the northwest, but nothing especially cold showing up there through the first 10 days or so of December. So it's still the idea, but we're going to be starting off a little bit on the colder side over the weekend and start of next week. Then it turns milder, could turn really quite mild indeed through the second half of next week. After that, we're watching out to see whether it begins to get colder again for the middle part of December. Terry Scott will have more on December with his December month-ahead forecast around 5 o'clock this evening. Then tonight at 7 o'clock, it's a winter forecast. Come back for all the updates. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.